Good morning, good morning, good morning. Whatever time you're going to tune in and watch this video or whatever date. I am excited. I feel good. It's a message that I want to get out. It's Mother's Day week. So this weekend is Mother's Day. We're going to be traveling with my family on personal, we getting a reunion, something we've been doing for over 80 years. But as I'm going through this change and I'm seeking and I'm talking to God and I'm asking the Holy Spirit just to guide me, to use me, it was a message that came about because it's Mother's Day, right? And I was listening to something and it was in the Bible. It was talking about the Genesis chapter and chapter 21, starting at verse 17. Backstory is Abraham, Abram before Abraham and Sarah before Sarah. They wanted to have a baby. They was like, nah, we ain't gonna have no baby. God came to Abram and was like, I'm gonna give you a baby, and that baby is gonna own land and gonna have all of the glory that I'm giving you what you want, because he's been so faithful and he's going through the walk. So he was telling him like, hey, I need you to go on this mission for me, basically. And so, during that process, he came to Abram and told him the message. He never told Sarah or Sarai the message. So Sarah was like, you know what? I can't give you a baby. Go ahead and sleep with my slave named Hagar. Now, I'm going to pause for a second and give you an understanding. This is a message for moms that sometimes we just don't know. Sometimes, we trying to figure it out. Sometimes we get put in positions to where we don't know why we even in that position. What's the purpose for God even putting us in that position? Sometimes we get, distracted and feeling some type of way, whatever the case may be. This message is also for those children that was born in situations that they have no idea and they feel like they don't feel worthy. They don't feel like they belong here. They feel like they were a mistake. They feel like all these negative things because maybe you were born out of wedlock. Maybe you were born by a mother, parents that your father was married and you were like the child that, that was, excuse me, a child that was born because your mother may have been the mistress, or maybe your mother may have been violated and where she had to have you. It's for these people. These are the people that I want them to understand this message. And I may be all over the place, but just please bear with me. This is my first time really just going deep into this type of situation, like this type of message, so I want you to bear with me. So moving forward, so they got Hagar was a slave. Hagar, eventually she got pregnant. She got pregnant and, it was okay. So after a while, Sarah ended up getting pregnant. So bam, Sarah gets pregnant. And in the Bible, it says that, so this is a time when, um, I'm sorry, this is a time when, you know, the babies are growing, so, um, So Isaac was born. I'm sorry for the delay. I just wanted to make sure I had the names because I'm not perfect. So Isaac was born, and once Isaac became of an age to where he's able to eat, they celebrated. And in that moment, Sarah was just like, basically get rid of Hagar and her baby, Ishmael. She got her baby now, so I don't need you anymore. So get rid of that baby that you had with that other woman, because she said what she said was get rid of that slave woman and her son, for that woman's son will never share the inheritance with my son Isaac. Let me backstory. Pause right there. So she not only told this woman to sleep with her husband, have a baby by her husband, and then when she was able to conceive and have her own baby, now she like, I'm finna throw y'all away like they a piece of paper. Okay, so let's go back before when God came to Abram. He said, "When you have a child, I'm gonna bless them, bless all of your offsprings." So whoever comes from Abraham, if y'all came from church, Father Abraham, as many sons. That Listen. Anybody, he said, as long as they're circumcised, they're going to be promised the land. They're going to be promised the blessings. They're going to be promised. They're taken care of already before they even got here. Before they even thought of, before they was even conceived, God made sure he said he's going to give them the promise. So let me get back on task on what I'm saying. So now she told him, get rid of her. Abraham like, man, he's stressed. He's stressed out. He like, man, these are my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay. So God came to him. He was like, listen to your wife. Why? Because when we get married, even if we don't like the decision, but we still made that promise to God. God told him, listen to your wife. And I'm going to cover your child. Your child's still going to receive the inheritance. All right, bam. So then the next morning, he sent his child and the mother out with uh it's like a sack thing with water, put it on her shoulder and some food, and send her and his son out in the desert. They out, they walking around in the desert. So as they're walking around in the desert, they run out of water. They run out of food. They out of it. They ain't got nothing. They don't know how to survive. And this goes for those parents. You doing everything that you can. You trying your best. You may not have asked for that child. You may not have asked for that situation. You trying to figure out how to turn to keep the lights on, keep the gas on, keep gas in your car, keep the job. You trying to figure it out. You trying, you trying, you trying, you trying. You doing this by yourself, right? God blessed you with this child. You doing this by yourself. And in the meantime, we don't know how the child feels because it doesn't explain how Ishmael feels during this process because Ishmael is still a little boy. So in the process, while they're out there, let me tell you, this is where it hit me. When Hagar said, I cannot watch the boy die. And she sat there and started crying. I'm a parent. I've been there. Well, I was like, my kids never saw me just have to go into a closet or go into a corner, go in my room or go in a car or go outside if we living with somebody else and just break down crying. Cause I'm like, I don't even know, God. You gave me these kids. I don't even know. What am I doing? Where am I going? So that hit me because I'm like, dang, I know that feeling. When you gotta this message, she said, I cannot watch the boy die. She sat him down and she went over in another space and she said, I can't watch him die. As a mother, we don't worry about how we're going to eat. We think about how them kids going to eat or that child is going to eat. We'll always say, I take it. I can handle it. But we never can accept watching our child hungry, crying, whatever the case may be. That hurts. So she said she cannot watch the boy die. As a mother, you cannot watch your child die. You cannot watch your child be hungry. You cannot watch your child be in trouble. You cannot watch your child go through things when you just don't you just can't watch. It's hard. So she started crying. Then the boy started crying. And boom, God came, sent the angel. Angel said, what's wrong, Hagar? So, and he said, don't be afraid. God hears the boy crying as he lie there. The angel said to pick that baby up and take that baby over to go get the water from that well. She's so caught up in the midst of her situation. Hold on, y'all. My baby just woke up. Hold on one second. Sorry. So she in the midst of going through a breakdown because she don't know how she gonna feed her baby. She asking for water. She ain't going into detail about food or nothing like that. And the angel come and say, I heard the boy crying. Pick that baby up and go get the water. And then said, I will make him into a great nation. Pause right there. There were times when I didn't know when I was going to feed my kids. There were times I didn't know when Christmas was going to happen. There was time when I didn't know what the next steps was. But a lot of times as a parent, we get so overwhelmed with what life has put on our shoulders that we can't even see right in front of us. We can't see the friends or the support system or whatever that we have, right? Because everybody's situation is different. We can't see what's available because we so consumed in what we don't have. We so consumed in what we can't do. Because this is a point where it becomes I instead of God. It becomes I can't do this. I can't do that. There's not one time she paused and talked to God about anything. So my thing is when it come down to the parent as a mother, I given that content, right? So then when you turn around to the child that was an innocent child that was born into a situation, if you feel like you are born for you feel some negativity on your creation. You feel like you don't belong here. You feel like your father don't love you. You feel like you was abandoned. You feel like all of these things. Just remember, God promised that he will make Ishmael into a great nation. If some of y'all never grew up in church, Father Abraham, we are descendants of Abraham. Father Abraham has many sons. We are descendants of Abraham, which what I mean is no matter who created you, that God blessed them to give you, you will carry on a whole different path. The only way you won't succeed is if you follow into the negativity and you believe all of the negative things that the devil was telling you in your head. That you can't do this, your bill's too much, you don't have no friends, you don't have no family, don't nobody love you. You cannot believe that because that distracts you from what God that distracts you actually from what God has for you. So this is a message not only for mothers for the Mother's Day week, but it's also for the children that we have carried that may feel like I was a mistake. You're never a mistake. The moms, I shouldn't have, it's hard for me, I can't live. Get out of, sometimes God calls you and he takes you away from the worldly things. He may take you away from the club, he may take you away from the dating scene, he may take you away from certain things, but guess what? Guaranteed that as long as you carry out the promise of his child and that child get raised up and you teach him or her about God and God promises and you keep that instilled in them, you've done a well job. And you're going to get your promise. You're going to get what you asked for. As long as it's according to his will for you, you're going to get it. There is no, I was born to be a bad person. There is no, I was born to be a killer. I was born to be this. Now, don't get me wrong. God has definitely turned around some people in the Bible that was killers, drunks, all them. He turned them folks around. So don't get me, and I'm not saying go out here and be those people because we already had people before us that already done that. We probably know some people, whatever the case may be. Sometimes you have to keep God's hands on you by continuing to seek God and be in God's presence so that you don't have to be like the person that you know that's probably out here killing people. You got to be careful about the things that you do. So my whole point of it all, talking about this message is Hagar had a baby because she was told to have a baby by a man, a married man. Then they abandoned her and she had no way to provide for him. And God came through and said, I got you. And as the story go along and you can read further along in the story, he made his promise. He fulfilled his promise. Ishmael didn't, he didn't he never Ishmael didn't go without. He still got his promise. He made him into a great nation. So you may, as a child, look at your daddy and be like, dang, you know, she over there or he over there with they mama and daddy, and I'm over here with mom and mama struggling. It's okay. My mama struggles too. Sometimes our mama struggle with the daddy in the house. Okay, I've seen it all, but that's not our business. Our business is to continue to be motivated, continue to believe that God is going to pull you through, continue to stay away from negativities that's going to take us back, continue to be wise in the mind, continue to make good decisions. The next step. I mean, if you happen to get pregnant and have a baby and probably repeat the cycle that your mama probably did, it don't matter. It still apply to you. It don't mean that the blessings aren't coming for you because you did whatever you did. Me, I had 4 kids. That don't mean the promise is in for me. And I'm gonna tell you, from where I was to where I am now, it's a great leap. But during that great leap, there was some turmoil. There were turmoil where Whew, it was turmoil. Okay. So it never was always glitz and glam and all that good stuff. It was never all well, I could just not work and I can be able to get closer to God. It was never always that. But once I got to a certain place in my life and I was like, God, I surrender to you. I was just so excited to get this message to you. And you may be like, I don't understand. That's fine. Sometimes you got to play it back. Sometimes you got to actually go to the message yourself. Sometimes you got to start out with Genesis chapter, what I say, Genesis chapter 21, verse 17, when it talks about the boy crying, and then you can go ahead and move back and start getting the backstory to it, or then you can go ahead and do it. However, it works for you. But I need you to understand that I don't care if you was born, your parents were married, they weren't married. I don't care how you got here, but you're here. And you old enough to tap on to an app and look at different messages. That means that you were here for a reason, for a purpose. Don't look at today. Today may not be the best. You may have lost somebody today. You may have lost a close loved one. You may have lost your job. You may have had something tragic may have happened. You lost your car. Whatever the case may be, it doesn't matter. Your today is not your tomorrow. Yo, this year is not your next year. And that's the hard part. Because you be on social media and you be looking around, everybody kicking it, that's your problem. You gotta start eliminating those things. Changing your algorithm. You have to. Because if you don't, then you're gonna feel like everything is a lie. And it's not. It's not a lie. It takes maturity, growth, and understanding to understand and know that it's everything. The things that's being said in the Bible, and the people your grandma and them, everybody, the things that's in the Bible, the people that talk about it at church, it's not a lie. Sometimes they don't know how to translate it, but it's not a lie. As long as it's in the Bible, it's not a lie. Because the Bible are true stories. Everybody talk about, oh, well, American Bible, this, that. Regardless, if they cut out some stories, because I've heard some stories has been cut out. But those stories that was cut out were stories to strengthen us. There were no stories that tells us, oh, whatever. Because it's still stories that God allowed some things to happen to where people praying like, God, you see this? He like, yeah, I see it. I just want to know what y'all finna do. How y'all gonna do this? How y'all gonna hold it up? Are y'all just calling on me because it's hard? So, happy Mother's Day to some of y'all. And also, keep in mind, you here for a reason. Lord, cover those that's watching this video and knowing that God is in their life. Holy Spirit, take control. Amen. Y'all be blessed.